Hi, Jamie. I'm so glad that we could do this interview. Hi, you guys. Just so you know, I'm here with Jamie with PiperBlue. I met her at a girls' luncheon, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
met at a girls' luncheon. We were talking, and I told her that I believed her avatar to be on LinkedIn. At that time, she didn't have a LinkedIn. We're going to go into all the reasons why she created her company, why she should be on LinkedIn. And then at the end of the video, allow you guys to vote. So we're kind of excited because this is a test run. We need all you girls' help to figure out if Jamie should really be targeting us amazing businesswomen on LinkedIn. And yeah, Jamie, so let's go ahead and dive in. Tell me a little bit more about your story, or at least tell the audience about your story.
Okay, well, I created an organic makeup line, and I'm wearing half on one side of my face and half with none, so that I can show you later on how fast and easy it is, because that's why I made it. To be fast, easy, and healthy. But I had lots of different things diagnosed in 2010. My story, my health started declining 2009 after I had my first baby. Then in 2010, I was diagnosed with stage 4 chronic kidney disease, and that is a disease where you cannot detox from anything. And so that's when I realized how toxic makeup, skincare, women's beauty products were. And I had to get rid of like everything. And I was left not being able to use anything because everything is so toxic and your skin seriously just absorbs anything you put on it. And so I was left with an option of just using the toxic stuff I had before or not using anything. And if I did find something that was somewhat healthy, it usually just did not work at all. And so that's why I kind of was led down this road to create this makeup line.
Awesome.
And so that's it.
That's it. Simple as that. Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about stage 4 cancer. So
Kidney
you've
disease.
got kidney disease. Sorry, stage 4 kidney disease. Glad we got that right. So stage 4 kidney disease. So kidneys are obviously what detoxifies our body. So the reason why you had to stop doing all these products was because your kidneys could not process it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, all these toxins that you are absorbing, I literally just I couldn't get rid of them. And so, a healthy person who has, the healthy kidneys, healthy liver, healthy spleen, they can detox their bodies. But my body was just so toxic. I couldn't get rid of anything. So I had to get rid of everything in my life that could possibly be toxic, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritual. But eating internally but externally because you absorb everything.
Yeah, which you know a little bit about my story. I definitely
Mhm.
absorbed some mercury poisoning. And that's when I first understood like what we put on our body, in our body really matters. So one of the things that I found very interesting about your situation was here you have this stage 4 kidney. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they told you that it your only hope was just to treat your body as nice as possible, and then it's just going to go into stage 4, and then you're going to need a kidney transplant. So is that what happened?
So I mean, traditional medicine, they think that you can never get better from stage 4 chronic kidney disease. There are some different types that they think you can if it's like from dehydration, stuff like that, but mine wasn't. And so the prognosis of that is where like you can try to maintain as much as you can in stage 4 before it goes to stage 5 and you get on dialysis and wait for kidney transplant. But I just from the very beginning I just had that inner voice just inspire me and tell me you're not supposed to do the traditional thing. And I was just like, what do I do then? Because I've never done anything else. And so um, I did go on a whole journey of listening to that every step of the way. It took me about a year and a half to fully recover. naturally. All my blood work came back fine. And every month or two, I'd go get tests to make sure it was actually getting better. Because that's kind of the deal that I made with my doctor at the time. I don't know if he really thought I was gonna get better or not. I don't think he did, but he was like, well, if you test every month and you're getting better, then keep doing what you're doing. And and then he was like, and then if not, then we'll just go to this other thing, so.
Yeah, so that's very interesting. Actually, I didn't even realize this, but I have personal experience with that because my mom just landed in the hospital, and that's exactly what they told her. They said, "You're dehydrated, and your kidneys are at a 3, and it's supposed to be at a 1. They're at a 3.
Mhm,
And if it's due to dehydration, then it could come back. If not, then we have a more serious problem." That's all they said. And
mhm,
her, it was dehydration. Once we got her hydrated, it went back to a 1. Um, but yeah, I didn't even like, yeah, there's that connection there of that experience. I just had that a couple of weeks ago.
mm,
So it's kind of interesting.
wow.
So you detoxed, and this kidney situation that wasn't supposed to get better not only got better, but you were 100%. I mean, I'm assuming that was what, based like 11 years ago?
Yeah, I was in 2010 when I was diagnosed. So it took, I think maybe it was 2009. At any rate, it took me about a year and a half to get better.
Okay, yeah. And then here we are about 10 years later, and I'm assuming you still haven't had a kidney transplant, so that's amazing. But you did have another aha moment, right?
Yes, I did. I actually went through another health crisis, let's call it that, except that it was brought on by myself. 2019, maybe the end of 2018, 2019, I went like on a health sabbatical. I quit doing healthy lifestyle altogether, anything healthy. And my health took a serious nosedive. And I was like, okay, I'm getting really sick. So I'm going to go back I'm going to go back on my healing diet that I learned from my first healing.
Okay,
And,
which makes sense.
and that actually made it so that I could function. I could get out of bed and I wasn't like sick in bed because my symptoms were honestly like ongoing flu and like just so sick. And so if I ate like that, I could feel like a normal person. But if I ate anything like a corn tortilla chip, I was sick in bed for a few days. And so I knew, like, okay, this helps me, but I'm not like getting better, which the first time it was just, chronic illness. It was just like my body just took off and it was getting better. And the second time it wasn't. So I knew something else was going on. And so I went through multiple doctors, and I think three of them said it's chronic Lyme, and I just had that, you know, inspiration come that just said it's not that. And so I was like, okay, and I'll go to more doctors. And I finally went to a doctor who just looked at me and he just said, "Do you think it's Lyme?" And I said,
Mm.
"No, I don't." And it was actually kind of hard for me to say that because everything looked like it would be. And so
Everything
it was
looked like it
just,
would be Lyme disease. So when
yeah. And
a
so except
doctor is asking you, you're just
mhm.
like, you don't, you almost don't want to go with your feeling, but you did.
Yeah. And so he was like, okay, then we're going to treat you for parasites. And I was like, whoa.
That's
And he's like,
kind
yeah,
of okay.
so disgusting. But anyway, so, and he was like, well, I'm going to put you on this protocol for a year. And it's an herbal protocol, but you'll know within 5 to 6 weeks if it is that or not because you'll feel better. And I was like, oh, I can do this. I can do that. Yeah, let's do it. So I did, and 5 weeks in, I was like, I am better. I am so good. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that's what it is. Because he didn't do any testing because he said that the percentage of getting accurate results is like 1% for that because there's so many. And usually he told me if you have one, you have many.
Yeah, and so
So
you left the country because I have friends that have had this issue, and it's usually they've left the country and they come back and they're sick, and it takes forever for somebody to figure out why, and it's because they've got some type of parasite leaving the country.
yeah, so I mean, I've been out of the country multiple times, and I did go to Haiti one time, and I know that people got stuff while they were there, and I came back and never did anything about it. I was like, I'm good. I was very naive at the time. But also, don't just think for a second that you get them out of the country, because a lot of people are walking around with this problem. They have no idea, and they've never left the country.
Really?
Um, oh yeah, yeah, big time. So almost every other country in the world, except for United States and like England, do an annual at least parasite cleanse. Did you
Okay,
know that?
I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm gonna have to do my parasite cleanse now.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a gentle one. And back in the early 1800s, early 1900s, a doctor would assist doing these cleanses like every 6 months here in the US. It's just become something because we have better sanitation now that they think doesn't happen here, and it really still does.
Yeah, if anything, COVID's shown us that, right? And
Mhm.
speaking of which, um, not that COVID was a parasite. I don't want to put that out there, you guys, but that we think we're going to be fine and our body can just heal from whatever hits us. But we have to treat our body well in order for it to heal. And so, speaking of which, this all happened right when COVID hit, right? Didn't you say it was like
So
2020?
that was the end of 2019, and I I stayed on the protocol for 6 months, and then I quit. I don't know why I did this, but I was like, I'm not paying for this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore because I'm better. I don't want to keep doing this. Well, long story short, 3 to 4 months later, it came back. And this time it was April of 2020, and he retired because of COVID. He didn't want to deal with it anymore, I guess.
Mm,
So I went to a specialist, one who specialized in getting rid of parasites. And I wanted to just, put all my trust into this doctor, and I did. I did her protocol, her diet, her supplements, her everything that she had recommended. And everything that she'd recommended, I just didn't feel good about. I knew it wasn't good. I remember thinking like, this isn't healthy. I shouldn't be eating like this, because I
mm.
knew better, but I was like, I really wanted to like trust her and
Right. Well,
trust,
because
because
you
she
knew
was
it was a parasite. You knew it was a parasite. She was supposed to be a specialist at a parasite. So you want to give that trust that, hey, somebody has my back, right?
yeah, well, it was just, the thing is, I was going against that inner feeling. And I feel like my whole reason of going through this second experience was to help, to really like say, hey, there's something about listening to the inner voice, because it's for your highest good. Like, it's really there for you. So not to like not trust doctors or anything, but your inner voice knows. And so just to listen to that. So that's what I feel like I went through this whole thing, just to really learn on a greater depth that you've got to be in tune with that inner voice and listen to it, because it got to the point where I was so sick that I just quit going to this doctor altogether. And it got to the point where I I had a serious conversation with God and just told him, I this isn't what I want. I want to be able to live. I want to be able to have a life with my kids, you know, keep living. And I was like, but I know that my body's at a point where I can't. I, and if you want this, if this is what you want, then I accept. And I call that my surrender. Um, because it's at a point where you have to have like just that much faith to let go of everything that you thought you wanted for your life, and put it into the hands of your higher power, or whatever it is that you believe, and let it play out. So anyway, I had a friend come over and I was just trying to keep it together because I was in such a vulnerable spot. And she was just coming to grab something and she was going to go. And I was just trying to keep it together while she was there. And she just kind of hung out. And I just couldn't keep it together. And so I just started crying. And she was like, "What is wrong?" And I was like, "I think I'm dying. I don't think I'm going to make it." And she was like, "Come and get a foot zone tomorrow." She was actually one of my students in a healing art called foot zoning. And so I was like, "Sure, I'll come." And so I went the next day. I was laying in her bed because like that's all I could do. I was at a point where I couldn't even like carry on a conversation. Like I just couldn't remember words. And so it was very hard to communicate and like to even sit up was hard. So her husband walked in. He was totally kidding. He didn't know what was going on, but he was like, "Jamie, you look like you're on your deathbed." And I just started bawling. And he was like, "Oh no." And I was like, "Don't worry. You didn't offend me. I'm just, it's just how it is right now." And I just had that inner voice tell me, ask him for a blessing, which in my faith we believe in blessings. And so I asked him for one and he did give me one. And the next day, um, I was even worse. And my friend called me. She's like, "How are you?" And I was like, "Good," lying.
You're smiling. You're like, I'm fine.
Yeah. And so that's when I just told God, I was like, "Okay, this is what you want, then okay, I accept. I'm ready then because I know that my body can't handle anymore. I know my body is done. It can't handle anymore." And so because I had parasites, I had all these other co-infections, and I actually came out of remission from kidney disease too. So I had to just, it was really, really bad. But um, the next day after that, literally the only thing I can call it is a miracle because I literally felt my organs felt like they just changed and I was better. And so that is my surrender, but also a miracle that I was given. And so I knew because of that, I needed to treat my body well. I needed to continue on my healthy lifestyle, detoxing gently, eating well, taking care of my body, and not taking that gift for granted.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when I hear your story, I feel so somber because you know a lot about my story, and I literally had a life partner who gave up on me, thought it was all in my head, while friends that had known me for 15 years were, they don't mean to, but they're worried about you. And they would come up to me and they'd go like, "Tommy, are you okay? You look like death." And that I remember that feeling. I remember thinking, that's because I am on death's door. And so just to clarify, not only were you dealing with these parasites and the issues they were causing, but they also sent your kidney back into remission. So you were having kidney failures again, or kidney disease again. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was having blood in the urine and blood in the feces, and all of that stopped that day.
Wow. But up until that day, you were eating, and you were detoxing, you were doing the things that you knew you needed to do. And then you had that surrender to your higher power, and you could just feel that shift in your body.
Yeah,
And
I think my body had just gotten so far down that it couldn't go back. It was too far. And so the only thing that could make that change was from God. So,
yeah, and
but I want people to have hope because miracles can happen, and I think we should expect miracles, but letting go of, you know, we need to hope and expect them, but also letting go of our own desires in that and accept what is supposed to play out for our lives, because whatever that is, that's going to be our greatest blessing.
Yeah, absolutely. I could not agree more. And just like you said, you're also not telling anybody that this doesn't mean go see your doctor, but like you and I talked about, I had to go to 10 doctors and I had to put I had to be the CEO of my own health and carry all my health cards with me and health reports with me. And every doctor knew their piece. And so they gave me a little bit more piece of that puzzle till finally I was able to figure it out. And
Yeah.
and that's important too, is remembering that doctors are only people, and they are really great and they have a lot of knowledge, and that knowledge can help you put together the piece of the puzzle. But if your heart is screaming at you, don't stop there. So after having this whole amazing experience, and Jamie, I just want to say thank you so much for sharing and being vulnerable enough to share with my LinkedIn connections and the women here that are listening. But so after that, PiperBlue was born. So explain to me how even the health makeup or the organic makeup you were putting on your face was not organic. Like, explain to me how explain to me how that happens.
So there, I mean, there's so many chemicals. I think there's been like 80,000 chemicals or something like that developed in the last 30 years, or I don't know the exact things right now, but I know there's so many, and that they are not all tested, and they're definitely not all tested together. But um especially in the beauty industry, it is just wild at how what they're putting in makeup now, and the things they're finding. And the one of the things you guys can look out for right now is titanium dioxide. It's in like almost every makeup. There's a few that maybe don't put it in some of their products, but others they do still. But that one is a hormone disruptor. And
Okay.
there's lots of chemicals that are used in makeup that do those things. And so,
So it's called titanium dioxide,
mhm.
and it's a hormonal disruptor, which is,
Yeah, and it's in sunscreen big time. So watch out for that too.
oh, it's in sunscreen as well. I'm gonna have to, I'm feeling guilty about this chapstick I have on, and now I'm gonna have to go look at my sunscreen because honestly, with the health issues that I had, it disrupted my hormones, and along with it, my thyroid. So when you say hormonal disruptor, that cannot be good to be putting on the biggest organ of our body.
Yeah, well, we literally absorb everything we put on our skin, whether someone says we don't or we do,
Mhm.
we really do. So
Yeah.
just, it's something that we need to be more careful of as women, to know that our bodies really do, and we care about our bodies. So as much as we are putting in our body, trying to put, we do our best,
Right.
but none of us are ever perfect, but you know we need to care just as much about what we're putting on the outside of our body as we are on the inside of our body, to take care of our bodies.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So with that said, I know for me, that's why I asked about the organic makeup, because I was like, organic, it should be fine. The other issue with organic makeup that I found is it doesn't stay on my face. And as a busy businesswoman, I've tried organic makeup, gone to a conference, and by the end of the conference, I look like I'm melting. So I go back to my MAC or whatever, like actually
Yeah.
stays looking nice all day. So what about PiperBlue, which do you mind sharing? Because that was one of the things I was excited.
Yeah, so that's the reason why I created PiperBlue, is because the stuff that I did find that was somewhat clean, it really just didn't work, and it still looked like I wasn't wearing makeup, or I just had crappy makeup on, or the colors were terrible. And so anyway, I took 2 years to formulate this makeup, and it's really easy. So
Yeah,
I
do
can
you
show
mind
you.
showing us? Yeah, it's a
So this is it, and this is what it looks like. It's a little bit different than most makeup,
okay.
because you're gonna put these colors on, and I can actually show you really quick on the side because it only after you get the hang of it, it takes like only a few minutes to do your whole makeup.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. Yeah.
So I'm just gonna spray my face really fast with this organic setting spray. That's
Okay.
actually anti-aging. I I use fresh aloe that's fermented with herbs and essential oils, so it's super good for your skin. And then this is my palette, super dirty, used, but I'm just going to take some of the light foundation because you have two different colors that you use typically, and just put it on under the eye.
Mhm.
Do a little more.
Yeah, I probably need that for the dark circles. Like that's probably perfect for my dark circles.
And then I'm going to take the darker and just, so what you're doing is you're not putting it all over your face like normal makeup. And it should go on really easy and smooth and look like have a flawless finish.
Okay.
And it's really user friendly. If you mess up, just either put a different color on or kind of rub and take it off. Or so anyway, can you see how that's covering? Because I had a few blemishes right there. All right, and I'm gonna do right up here because I only did half my face. And I did half my nose. Can you see my nose?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna take a little bit down the bridge of my nose on this left side.
Okay.
Put a little bit right here. And then now I'm gonna do this contour. And you go wherever you have natural shadows, where the shadows of your face. So what it's doing is just kind of sculpting your face a little bit more to be a little bit more enhanced for your natural facial structure. And I actually like to put some right here because I tend to get like a double chin. So it kind of like tucks things too, if you want to do that. A lot of people that use this really like that about it. And it's easy. Can you see how easy it is?
Yeah, yeah, the colors are blending really well.
And I'm just going to do down the side of my nose because I like to do this. This is a little bit extra. You don't have to do this. And then just blend it. And it shouldn't look like you're wearing anything. So if it does, just blend a little more.
No, it does not look like you're wearing anything at all. It's really nice. One of the things that I loved when I was like actually standing right next to you was I couldn't tell that you had makeup on. And then like it was a 3-hour lunch. So we talked, we ate, we were under lights. And by the end of the 3-hour lunch, you still looked the same. So I was
Yeah.
also pretty impressed about that.
So, oh, and then you can do blush. Let's see. I like to, so when you smile, most people do their blush wrong. You go on the apples of your cheek, and then I like to go just barely above where I did the contour.
Yeah, you do the smile, right? To find out where your apples are. Yeah, I actually learned that from Mary Kay. I did Mary Kay when I was younger.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of people do their blush up here, and that's actually where the light is supposed to hit. So if you want to do a little bit of a highlighter, you can do that where the light would hit.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Anyway, it's all done.
There, yeah, that was quick. Okay, there you have it, you guys.
Then,
So
yeah, if you guys have like oily areas, you guys can use some of the setting powder, or you can use the setting spray. Just
okay, so
depends on.
you have a primer, then the
But you don't have to use all the stuff. A lot of the times I don't.
mhm.
So all I do is get like the tiniest amount and just put it where you might be a little shiny.
Okay.
And there you go.
That's
So
beautiful.
I don't even like powder up my face with a brush because I don't want it to look powdery. You
Okay.
want it to look like your natural face, like Is she wearing makeup? She just looks really good.
That's where I need to get to. Is she wearing makeup? I love that. But yeah, that was one of the things that I noticed is you did not look like you were wearing makeup. It looks really beautiful on there right now. So what are the products that you have right now that are available?
Oh, so right now I have the anti-aging setting spray. So you can use this at night before bed or in the morning or before and after you put makeup on. And then I have the palettes, and you just put these in those certain areas and blend them. So you don't actually put one color over your whole face because you want your face to have its dimensions.
Okay.
Um,
And you
so
said you
that,
had tutorials for that, right? So
yeah, I do. So you'll get like after you get used to it, you'll be able to put it on in just a couple minutes and it'll look really good. You can take a little bit extra time and like do like nightlife looks if you want, but I mean, this is kind of what I do most of the time. So
awesome. So what future products are you going to come up with? Like what's the future for Piper Down?
I actually am working on skincare and that will come out and I'm really excited. I think that it will be so amazing and people will really enjoy it, love it. Um, Really help with anti-aging and acne because I'm getting older and I want it to have that. So that's what I'm working on. But also in the past, I struggled with acne, especially with hormone acne for some reason that came up in my 30s, but now it's kind of resolved. So
Yeah, that's actually what I have. So I've had clear skin my whole life. And then all of a sudden I have, yeah, the hormone that are right here. Yeah. It's
mhm.
horrible.
Yeah, and I have a lady, she's like 40s, in a mid 40s, maybe late 40s, and she's had acne her whole life. She started using um the whole all three of those things, so the spray, the makeup, and the powders. And she left me like the best review on her personal Facebook page, but also on my website that her acne is finally healed.
Oh, wow. Healed.
Yeah, she does. She's like, this is the first time in my life my acne's healed. And I
That's
was like, wow, I never expected that. So
it's a great side effect, right?
yeah,
So
people have been really finding that their skin is like doing better after they started wearing it.
yeah, so that was one of the reasons why I thought, yeah, LinkedIn should be your audience because it's women that, are 30 and above that we started to see the acne in the hormones. We've started, especially with stress and how much we work, but we want makeup that stays, we want it to look good. And some of us have had health issues. So here's the deal, ladies. I wanted to do this video so you can see if you agree with me. Jamie, at this time, you didn't have a LinkedIn. Do you have a LinkedIn now?
I got one this morning.
Yay! So it's going to be under Jamie Jensen, right?
Mhm.
Great. I'll make sure to put a link in this video to your LinkedIn page. So we all need to connect with her and start building that page for her. But more importantly, if you feel like, yes, more business women who have to put their their first foot forward and look their best, but we're done with the crap. We're done with makeup, buying organic makeup and not having it last on our face. This is needed for our industry. Please put a PiperBlue in the comment to show Jamie, yes, you support this. If you really support it, then share the video. And if you're like, hands down, every woman should have this, then feel free to purchase from Jamie. Jamie, is there anywhere they can go to purchase? Tell me a little bit
Oh,
about how to get a hold of you.
yeah. So if you want, you can use a code all caps new 10 for 10% off if you want to buy it. And I can do a personal color match on you if you just message me. I would just need pictures of your face. So be prepared for that. No makeup. And then um, you would just order on my website and then watch the tutorial so that you know how to put it on because it's not like your normal makeup.
Okay, awesome. And so the tutorial is PiperBlue,
Oh, PiperBlueMakeup.com has the
PiperBlueMakeup.com. Okay, perfect. And what are some future things we can be looking for you? For some future stuff coming out?
Yeah, so I'll be working on the skincare and releasing that. I'm also writing my book about my story, so that will be released soon, and I'm really excited about that. And I I have a hope that I will actually build an online platform for education that people can come and learn how to have a healthier lifestyle, healthier mindset, just different things like that so that they can really be successful in their own health.
That is awesome. That is so awesome. And so just so you guys know, Jamie and I connected through She's Classy, and She's Classy has its LinkedIn group. I'll connect you here. She's part of the She's Classy Council. So if you want to help encourage her and help her build her business, reach out to me. I'll let you know how you can be a part of that. But really, this video is to say, I think all of us businesswomen should know about this. So if anybody else thinks so too, let's help build her up on LinkedIn and show her that, yes, it is time for us not to sacrifice making a first impression with our health. And so I think PiperBlue is the first place to do that. So once again, PiperBlueMakeup.com, and now 10 for 10% off.
New 10.
New 10.
You're new. So
Yes.
all caps NEW 10,
Okay.
and you get 10% off.
Wonderful. And I'll make sure I put new 10 in the video. Thank you so much for doing this with me. I think this is going to be fun. And like all you ladies that were tagged, I'm sorry, I never tag a bunch of you, but I think we really need to show Jamie our support and let her know that yes, this makeup does need to be the makeup in the business world to use. And we'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you guys. I'm so thankful that you did this. It's been so amazing and able to share my story and help give hope to someone else who might have been through something that might have been hard. So
absolutely. And I'm so grateful that you're vulnerable enough to share your story because it needs to be heard. So thank you so much.
yeah, thank you so much. Bye, everybody.